So here's the big question. How do you sell heavy-duty parts in a digital world? That's the question, and this is the place where you're going to find the answers. My name is Jamie Irvin, and we are live in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Welcome to another edition of Jamie Irvin Live. It is Thursday, July 15th. And I'm so happy that you are here watching this video. This is the place where we are dedicated to answering one question: how do you sell heavy-duty parts in a digital world? Today, we're going to talk about search engines. But before that, I wanted to let you know that Jamie Irvin Live is sponsored by the Heavy Duty Parts Report, our weekly podcast. Now, the Heavy Duty Parts Report is found at heavydutypartsreport.com. Head over there. You can put in your email address to subscribe to the show. You're going to follow that show for free. We'll send you one email a week with updated with the updated episodes that have come out. They come out every Monday. We're not going to send you any marketing material with that. It's strictly a weekly email that lets you know. If you want to also, you can find the Heavy Duty Parts Report on YouTube. You can subscribe to the channel, or you can go over to wherever you get podcasts and subscribe there. But we'd like to have you on our email list. We'd like to make sure that you never miss an episode. And we want you to check out the Heavy Duty Parts Report on heavydutypartsreport.com. All right. So now that the sponsorship is out of the way, I also just wanted to let you know that because this is a live broadcast, if you would like to comment or if you'd like to ask a question, go ahead and I'd be happy to take your questions at the end of my presentation today. So I can check that off my list. Now we've gotten the intro out of the way. What you're here to learn today is all about search engines, right? How are we going to leverage search engines to sell heavy-duty parts? That's the real question at hand. So I'll just bring that up here. Okay, so search engines, I think everybody who uses the internet pretty familiar with Google. They pretty much own it all. They're like Coca-Cola. Bing is probably the next search engine in size. They're like Pepsi. Those are the two big ones. But there are many search engines. And so there's actually tools that you can use to help get your website into as many search engines as possible. And really, getting them ranked in those search engines is not going to hurt you. But the focus of the strategy needs to be on the big search engines, the ones that have most of the traffic. And so really all of these principles apply to all of them, but Google is what we're going to talk about today. Now, there's a couple ways to leverage search engines, and I'm going to talk about paid first. Like with Facebook advertising or other social media advertising products, Google has a robust advertising product that you can use. And I want you to keep in mind that when it comes to search results, Google owns number one. They also own number two, because YouTube is the second largest search engine in the world. People basically search on Google or they search on YouTube. So your paid ads platform, your Google Ads, can easily allow you to put ads on the search engine and on YouTube. But we're going to focus on search engines today. Now, as with any advertising, really at the end of the day, your budget is the only limitation. Google is happy to take as much money as you want to spend per month. And, placing those ads so that when people are searching for keywords, you show up in the sponsored ads at the top or in the sidebar. It's a way to get in front of people who are already looking for what you sell, what you do. And what's really important with the ad strategy is that in the end, it doesn't cost you any money at all. Now, what do I mean by that? Well, the only time advertising costs you money is if it doesn't convert. So what I always tell people is that they should start off small. They should spend a little bit of money testing different ads until they find an ad that brings people to their site. And if enough people come to the site from that ad, the total purchases of people who come to the site far exceed all of the cost of goods sold as well as the advertising costs, which of course are built into that cost of goods sold. So if you find a formula for different ads that are converting, once you get that formula figured out, you can scale up the budget almost, there's almost no limit. The only limit then is the physical limit of how much you can sell in a day. And so when I was running my contracting business, I ran ads, and every 2 months we'd probably shut the ad off because we had done so well converting that it had exceeded our company's ability to physically go do the work. And so we would turn the ads on and off as we needed them. And we'd also use the ads going into certain seasons to shift the traffic on our site from one service to another. Now, with heavy duty, it can be very similar, especially if you're in northern climates, right? As you get towards the fall and winter and the days are getting shorter and the nights are getting longer, you might want to shift to lighting. You might want to shift to antifreeze products that are for cold temperatures. You might want to shift to tire chains and things related to winter driving. Conversely, in the spring and summer, you want to maybe focus on air conditioning products and windshield wipers and things like that for summer driving, as well as you would do the same for winter driving. So you do definitely want to use different ads and use them strategically to drive traffic to the site. So that's paid advertising. But really where the most important part of the strategy is all on organic. Now, I just realized here that there's a comment that's come in. So Matt Douglas, hey, Matt from Transaxle, thanks for asking this question. So PPC, that is pay per click. That's exactly the kind of ad products that you'll find on Google. Pay per click, meaning you only pay if someone clicks the ad. Now, Matt, if someone clicks your ad and comes to your site, the only way that you turn that money that you've just spent into profit is if you can convert. And so the way that your website is structured and the objectives that you have on your website must be very, very, very clearly laid out for the people who come to your site. We have to have that mechanism in place to convert traffic generated either by paid ads or by organic search results. And when it comes to organic search results, that traffic in essence is kind of free, sort of. So it's free from the perspective that you don't pay for that traffic, right? People find you organically. They're searching keywords. Your website comes up. They click the link. No, there was no transaction with the search engine. No money was exchanged for that click. But is it really free? Well, in years past, it took a lot less effort and time to get your website to rank. But in 2021, and certainly as the algorithm continues to be more and more sophisticated, it's getting harder and harder to rank high enough that people will find you in sufficient traffic to be able to help you actually with your sales goals. So there are 3 pillars to ranking organically in 2021. And I think these 3 pillars are going to stand the test of time moving forward. There was a recent update on Google back in the spring, and it put a very big emphasis on mobile traffic and the user experience on your website. You may have even noticed that your traffic dropped off after that update went live roughly around May. And the reason that Google is doing this is because, of course, more and more people are using the internet with their mobile devices. And they realized that some people were starting to use certain tactics to game the system. And so what they did is they put a penalty on things like persistent pop-ups that interfere with the experience on mobile. So when you're on your device and then this pop-up comes up and you can't even really see the X, things like that. They also really looked at where a person's thumb in the right hand would go to the screen and where are the buttons on your mobile device. And so if you got a bad mobile score, your search engine, your organic search engine rankings plummeted. And to be quite honest, on the heavydutypartsreport.com, our rankings did fall because of that update. We had made some mistakes, and we just launched a new website yesterday. So the heavydutypartsreport.com, brand new site addressing those issues. Instantly, later that day, we started showing up on the first page for certain keywords we were looking to rank for. So obviously we did the right thing. And I was actually even surprised how quickly we rebounded in our ranking. So the user experience on the website is critical to taking traffic wherever the source is, paid or organic, and converting it properly. Because, first of all, Google's just not going to give you a lot of traffic if your user experience isn't done well. And on top of that, if you don't have a point to your website, if it's just an informational site, it's not going to convert sales. So you have to point people to what they call a call to action or a CTA. You've got to tell them what you want them to do once they find your site. And in your case, if you're selling parts, it's probably to buy parts. Now, the other pillars, there's two more pillars to make your website rank organically very high. First page results for keywords. So the user experience is number one. Number two is content. We have to have quality content on the site that Google looks at your website and recognizes this is the kind of content that people who are looking for what you sell are looking for. This is answering important questions. This is providing relevant information. This is giving them options like some people like to read, other people like to watch, and other people like to listen. Do you have blogs, audio files, and video files that people can easily consume on the site? The good thing is that you can create videos on YouTube. You can put it on your site. Google loves YouTube. They own it. They're going to rank that. They're not going to penalize you for having, videos on YouTube and keeping the traffic that is out there in the Google sphere. That's very important to them. So that the good thing is that we can take a blog article, we can make a video, we can embed that easily. We can give people what they're looking for. But the quality of the content has to be there, and it has to be written and produced in such a way that when people type in specific keywords, you have done your job of providing relevant content that has those keywords embedded in it in a organic and a natural way. You don't want to just stuff the content with keywords, but you want to be able to really, really provide high quality content to the user. And then Google is going to reward you and say, great, this is the kind of content this user is looking for. We're going to put your website in front of them. But there's one more pillar that is really essential. And that third pillar is backlinks. Now, from what I can understand, Google is looking, and this, again, these principles apply to all search engines, but specifically, Google is looking for relevant content with a good user experience, and that is also at the center of the community that the person who is searching is part of. So let's just talk about the trucking industry community. Now, if Google looks and they see that a high quality website with good user experience and a high score on high quality content is linked to you and you are linked to them, this creates a community, and they say, okay, this high quality website is linked to this website, and they both are doing the right things. They're both really striving to create websites that serve the trucking industry. Then Google's going to reward those types of websites that are all linked together, and they're going to put those types of websites in front of the people who are searching for keywords related to the trucking industry. So that really gives a level of legitimacy to your website. And that's what Google's looking for. How long has your website been up? How long is it registered for? How many links does it have to outside sources where basically that's outside sources telling Google, this is a legitimate good site. You should send traffic there. You're safe to send traffic there. So that's really the mindset behind all these algorithm changes on search engine. And it's really important to get all these things right. In fact, if you only get 2 out of 3 right, it's going to dramatically reduce the overall results of your site. So you've really got to focus on this. And that's why I say that organic traffic is free, sort of. You don't transactionally pay for it, but it takes an enormous amount of time and effort to build the site correctly, create the right content, and then form relationships with other high quality sites and create those backlinks to give Google a signal that you are a safe place to send traffic. The last thing Google wants to do is send users to a site that spams them, that doesn't provide relevant information and is a poor user experience, because then what do people do? They just leave. So your website is the real foundation of your digital sales channel, whether you are doing e-commerce or not. Either way, it's the place you ultimately want people to go. And we've talked about a lot of the social media channels, and I've said before, the social media channels are great, but you don't own them. The only thing you really own, and that principle applies to search engine traffic, you don't own it. The search engine does. And they can send traffic to your site today and they can take that away tomorrow. So converting traffic on your site into either a sales funnel that leads to an actual sale where you capture their information, or where you get them added to an email list where then you own the email list. This should be the goal of everything that you do online. No matter whether it's for social, search engine, it's get people on your site and capture their information so you can build a real relationship with them. One thing I wanted to mention too is I've been told that this algorithm update that happened in the spring, Google made a change where they stopped ranking entire websites as a whole, and they started ranking every single web page on your site individually. So this is good news, because what this allows us to do is, if our site is built correctly with a good user experience and we start building high quality content, we can get an individual page, meaning like a blog article or something like that, to start to rank high very, very quickly. So that's something to keep in mind. Now, as you can tell from all of this, there is a lot to it. And if you would like to work with me directly on your digital strategy, I'd like you to go to my email. Just go to your email, type in jamie@heavydutypartsreport.com, send me an email requesting an initial meeting. I'm going to respond to that email. I'll give you a calendar link where you'll be able to find a time that's convenient for you, and you will be able to have a meeting with me. You can tell me your situation. We can go over it, and we can see if there's specific things I can help you with your digital strategy. So if you want to work with me, head over to your email. Just send me an email, jamie@heavydutypartsreport.com, and we will begin the process of working together. I look forward to hearing from you. We've had some great clients come from this series, and I'm looking forward to you being one of them as well. Now, next week, we're going to talk about an interesting subject, because we've talked about social, we've talked about search engines now. We're going to talk about traffic, what it is, what it isn't, and we're going to actually provide you with some information that's probably going to fundamentally change the way you look at traffic. So I'm excited about that. That'll be next Thursday, live as always at 12 noon Mountain, 2 o'clock Eastern. Thank you so much. And thank you, Matt, for commenting today. Thank you so much for watching this live video. You have a great week. And don't forget, head over to heavydutypartsreport.com to check out our podcast. We'll talk to you very soon. Bye-bye.